Excelsior!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Excelsior. I'm your moderator, Christian Buckley. Joining me this week is Jack Martin.
Hello, good to be here.
Very nice. And on the mixer is Pat Maroney.
Hello. Good to be here again.
We are in the Endgame now. It is April. As of recording, we are 3 weeks away from Avengers Endgame.
Oh, God.
We have our tickets.
We sure do.
Which we will be talking about further down in the show. But
Very
as
exciting.
we do every week, we're going to pull a little character name from this crayon box and play a game called Cast Me Baby One More Time,
Okay.
where every week Jack and I supply a actor or actress to play whichever character we pull. We have a minute to defend our choice for said character. Then Pat.
I'm just gonna say this now too.
Yeah.
I have to get better at enforcing that minute.
Okay, yeah.
I always forget after the first turn.
Yeah.
And then like someone goes for 5 minutes.
So we have a minute to defend our choice. Pat will then pick whatever choice he thought was better for this character. And we're building up our own MCU.
Okay.
So, who have we picked this
Okay,
week?
so we picked The Thing.
The Thing, okay.
The Thing. I have one,
Okay,
just based off of appearance alone,
okay.
if you don't mind.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so I had to look up his name. That's why I was on my phone here. His name is Dean Norris. Does that name ring any bells to you?
No.
Hank from Breaking Bad.
Oh.
Yes. Hank from Breaking Bad, I think, would be an awesome thing. I don't know much about The Thing, but I do know what he looked like in the Fantastic Four movie.
Me too.
That came out years ago. That wasn't very good. And he's like this kind of hulking dude. He's this kind of big boy. And I think Dean Norris, a.k.a. Hank from Breaking Bad, has a really good appearance for that. He's just so undeniably charming, too, in that show. He's like one of my favorite characters in that show. So I think he'd bring a lot of intensity to it, but a lot of charm and a lot of sweetness to it as well. So, yeah, I think Dean Norris would be a good choice.
All right. That's good.
Mhm.
You have like 10 seconds left. You want?
He's handsome.
Okay. That was a good choice. I guess only person who's coming to mind for me, starting now, I'm going to say The Thing should be played by Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman, again, another choice from the WWE roster.
Okay.
Braun Strowman, the monster among men, he is a brick wall. He is the largest man I've seen on TV. He is very funny. He has a catchphrase. He just says, like, catch these hands,
Mhm.
and he screams his own name. I feel like he could bring a intimidating presence to The Thing where they could probably do something cool with makeup and effects, not just like CG. And I feel like The Thing should be more human than the Hulk is, at least, just to feel like he's part of that family, that Fantastic Four team, because he does have that element. So makeup would work. Braun Strowman is big enough to look like a rock monster, and he's kind of funny. So
Kind of funny. He's a big boy. I'm looking at him right
yeah,
now.
he's very large.
Yeah, this guy's a tank.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You got 3 seconds.
I'm good.
All right. I don't know why I decided to share that. All right, so the character of The Thing, the Ting for our British audiences.
That's true. Or
Or
Irish.
Irish.
Irish, yeah, that's true. You guys brought your A game this week. Damn.
Yeah, these are good choices.
These are very good choices. I think I'm gonna go with Dean Norris because Braun Strowman. It'd be a shame to have him trim that beard up. That's a gnarly beard.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like it's tough because Dean Norris is like he's a short guy.
Mm.
You got to stilt him up somehow or something.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, I forget who played him in the OG Fantastic Four, but I feel like he was a short fellow as well.
Yeah, from what I remember, The Thing in those films wasn't very big. And yeah, I mean, like Tom Cruise is, I think, 5 feet flat, and they make him
Yeah.
look tall enough.
Oh, he's tiny.
They make Robert Downey Jr. look like he's as tall as Chris Evans and Chris Hemsworth, and he's not. So,
Michael Chiklis.
Michael Chiklis.
I don't know who that is.
He's on. I think he was on The Shield,
Okay.
that cop show.
I'm like looking at I'm like panning back and forth
Uh-huh.
between like a photo of Dean Norris doing an NPR thing and a photo of like an action figure of The Thing, and like he like already looks like him. Like,
Yeah,
he
it's pretty
they're-
good.
Yeah, I'm glad you got your choice because
That was a good one.
Braun Strowman. I love the guy.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of mistakes on my end of this casting.
Usually-
So I'm glad we got one.
Good
Usually I am like scrambling to think of someone, or I refer to the list of just random actors I made.
Yeah.
But that one just kind of came to my head.
Maybe we should do a week where it's like homework. You just get to take it home,
Oh,
and then you get to really give me something to.
that's a good idea.
Yeah,
Sure.
Maybe.
because that's what they actually do when you cast. They don't just like say like, all right, we need to cast.
Really, they don't like just.
Mystique.
They don't do it in a
Yeah.
minute.
I was like, Beyonce.
What about Eddie Murphy? What's he up to?
Speaking of homework,
Yeah.
a few weeks from now, we're probably going to be doing a little more info on comics
Mhm.
on this year program. But I got a little comic book recap I want to shout out there this week. I read the first 2 issues of Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil run. Chip Zdarsky, if that name sounds familiar, he is the writer of Spider-Man Life Story, which I brought up a couple weeks ago on our Spider-Man Homecoming episode. So the Daredevil series he's writing, he's picking up after a very well-reviewed run of Daredevil. I'm not sure who was on that because I've never read Daredevil. But the current run of Daredevil, the one that's 3 issues in now, is pretty cool. It's in tone with the Marvel Netflix series. So it's kind of starting off slow. It seems like a good place to hop in. It was for me, at least, because it's introduced as Matt Murdock in a bar. He's recovering from being in a almost fatal accident. He's had weeks and months of physical therapy because he saved someone. He saved someone from being run over by a truck, like an 18-wheeler, and he took the blow instead. And they're doing something interesting because it's Daredevil starting to be Daredevil again, and he sucks at it because he's been out of it for so long. So he thinks he's like way more capable than he is. He tries to stop a robbery of just like an electronics store, I think, and it's 3 dudes, 1 guy with a gun. And if you see Daredevil, even from like the beginning of that Netflix show, you're like, oh, Daredevil's got that. He does not got that. He gets messed up in that scene. So it's very brutal. It's pretty dark, and I like the take so far. It's cool. There's some cop drama. Kingpin is the mayor now. Apparently, Matt Murdock was also mayor for a time period.
Oh.
But Kingpin is mayor. He's ordered the police of New York to arrest vigilantes and heroes on sight. So there's some cool drama there.
Interesting. Have you read a Daredevil comic before this?
Never.
Okay. So, good introduction, you said?
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's 3 issues in now. As of recording, last week, the end of March, is when issue 3 came out. So I'm assuming if the schedule is what I think it is, then in the next week or 2, we should be getting issue 4.
Very cool.
So yeah, recommended.
Can
Yeah.
I chime in for a sec?
Yeah.
Kingpin is the mayor and a hero who's kind of fallen out of shape. This sounds like Spider-Verse minus Miles Morales.
Yeah.
Not really. That's a reach, but still.
I mean, well,
can
like
see it.
Kingpin being
That's
a
happened.
big player. Yeah, Kingpin's been political in the past.
Wasn't he? Well, he was. What was he in the Netflix show?
I think he was
mayor?
just in charge of a company.
Wasn't he running for something in the first season?
He may have been. Yes, I think he was.
I forget. I don't know if it was for mayor. Maybe it was.
He was definitely in some
Yeah.
political standing.
Was Kingpin in Spider-Man PS4 mayor?
No, Kingpin in Spider-Man PS4, he was Fisk Industries or whatever it's
Oh,
called.
okay. Yep.
So, yeah, cool jumping on point. If you like Daredevil, if you want to find a place to start in Marvel Comics, recommended. That's the beginning. It's time to talk about the end. So recently, Joe Russo revealed that Stan Lee's cameo in Endgame will most likely be his last cameo.
That is very sad.
It is very sad. When Stan passed, I assumed, based on the timing of everything,
Yeah.
that his final cameo would be in Spider-Man Homecoming.
And I think
Far From Home.
And I think a lot of people said that.
Yes.
Too.
And
it made sense.
It did make sense. And while I believe there are probably a handful of extra cameos they're sitting on, because I remember, I think sometime before Guardians 2, they said that, oh, we shot like 15 cameos with Stan Lee today.
Oh.
They shot a lot of them.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they're sitting on some.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're going to keep them up. I do have a quote from Joe Russo about the whole scenario. He said, I think this is from Collider. He said, I believe that his, Stan Lee, final cameo is in Endgame. I don't remember if he was well enough to do the cameo in Spider-Man Far From Home, but it was incredible to work with him. So
is that a maybe then?
I mean,
I don't know if he was well enough.
It's weird because, yeah, it does sound like it's a maybe, but it's like the most anybody has said about it yet.
Okay.
So, I mean, like Joe Russo, like technically Far From Home is a Sony production.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much Joe Russo, the director of an Avengers movie, knows about
Yeah.
the whole schedule. I could see it, but
Yeah.
odds are.
This just is another example of the MCU turning into a different version of itself. Partly because Endgame is going to shake things up, and partly because the death of Stan Lee has caused these cameos to kind of end. And even that's like a small thing in the MCU, but it's still like one of those things everyone's waiting for in an MCU movie. So it is sad to see those go. Definitely.
I think since probably X-Men, I'm pretty sure he's been in every Marvel movie except for maybe one.
He wasn't in.
I know there's one he was definitely not in.
Was he not in Deadpool 2? He was in the first Deadpool.
Yeah, he might not have been in Deadpool 2.
Yeah, there is something like recent, and I think it was Deadpool 2.
That might be it then.
Yeah,
but yeah,
he
like,
has missed a couple like here and there.
Well, even animated stuff. He was in Big Hero 6.
Yeah,
which is technically a Marvel property.
Yeah, and he was in
Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Was he? Oh yeah, he was.
He was the costume shop.
Yeah,
guy.
he was also in Teen Titans Go to the movies.
Oh really?
Yeah,
That's
he was
sick.
in a DC product.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
And he was like, "I'm Stan Lee." Like he was actually like, I don't know why. It was
That's
really
funny.
Cool.
That's cool that he did that.
Does it not seem like kind of fitting for this to be
The Endgame?
He passed away like a while ago at this point, right?
Yeah, he passed away
months
in
ago,
October, November.
Like at a certain point, does it really, like this is like it's such a poetic ending to everything.
Yeah.
Like the grand story of Stan Lee's life. This is like borderline perfect. His most successful franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
His last appearance is in the end of it.
Right.
Yeah, and even if it is the final one in Far From Home, I feel like that still carries weight because Spider-Man was always his favorite character that he made.
Oh yeah.
That's true.
And he whenever I thought of Spider-Man as a kid, we talked about this somewhere recently, but that Spider-Man PS1 game where Stan Lee does the introduction to it and he's narrating it all. I always associated Stan Lee heavily with Spider-Man more than Marvel.
Definitely. I think he did it himself too.
Yeah.
And a lot of people did. So I would like to see something in Far From Home, even if it's not him, maybe just like I don't know, some sort of photo or some sort of nod at least.
Maybe a statue or something.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool. Because there's a lot of like it's very irreverent the way they treat him in that.
Yeah.
And I think it's really funny. Just it's very like a lot of levity involved and a lot of humor.
For sure.
So it would be funny to see like a statue or something. That'd be cool. For no reason. That'd be funny.
And you mentioned levity and stuff like that. I will take any opportunity I can to pitch this idea. Stan Lee has finished his cameos. You still want to tie together the Marvel movies with cameos moving forward. Got Deadpool in your back pocket.
I like that a lot.
I think that should be a thing too.
Big fan.
Every PG-13 gets one F-bomb.
Give
it to Deadpool for every movie. Make that the cameo.
That's sick, yeah.
That's true.
I also I do think that I don't. Oh, the one thing I recommend everybody go read. It's some like fan theory online. The theory that Stan Lee in all the MCU movies is the same guy will entertain you for 15 minutes.
Yeah,
is that true? Is that confirmed?
So people ran with that,
Guardians,
especially after Guardians, because the Watchers, he was with other Watchers in Guardians. That was his cameo, I think, in Guardians 2.
Yeah.
And Watchers just are supposed to blend in within society and like observe everything that's happening.
Yeah.
So the theory was Stan Lee's a Watcher, which I would believe. That is, awesome. I recommend looking into that too. That's pretty cool.
He said in that cameo, he was like, and then I was a postman. Like, it sounded like he was like going back, like talking about like all the things he did.
Yeah.
It's just an example of like the next level they went to.
Yeah.
That people can even do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll get to it, but my favorite Stan Lee cameo will be coming up later in this show.
Ooh.
My favorite of all time.
It is a good one.
Makes you laugh. We'll get to that.
More Endgame talk, though. So Avengers Endgame tickets went on sale. We mentioned that at the top of the show. We got our tickets.
I'm so stoked.
It is so close.
We've never, or at least you and I haven't. I don't know about you, Pat, but we've never gotten tickets like the first day you possibly can for a movie.
I've never done that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only other time I did it was for The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah. I've never done that for any movie.
Yeah, and people had a lot of issues.
Oh yeah,
with this.
So before I get into like some news about it, I woke up probably around 7 because 8 a.m. we're on the East Coast. 8 a.m. was supposed to be when we were going to be able to get in, and I was able to get in fine around 8. I was looking at our local theater. I found some good seats. I had to wait a little bit, and then I wasn't able to order tickets until around 10. And when I went back around 10, I was in a online queue for about 45 minutes.
That's insane.
Yeah.
To buy movie tickets
Yeah.
in 2019.
In Western
I
Massachusetts.
know it. Yeah. That's insane to me.
Yeah, it's wild. And this was not unique to us
No.
because it seemed like this was worldwide a problem, or at least nationwide.
Yeah.
I have a quote from Deadline. Avengers Endgame tickets went on sale Tuesday, with Atom Tickets reporting that in the first hour, the Marvel movie has set a record for the mobile ticket retailer. To date, Avengers Endgame has sold 3 times more tickets on Atom in the first hour of pre-sales than Avengers Infinity War did last year. The first hour of Avengers Endgame's pre-sale also outstrips Atom's first hour sales for Star Wars The Last Jedi, which was the previous #1 holder.
Wow.
Fandango, later in the week, was also reporting that Avengers Endgame has knocked the best first-day U.S. sales record for the online ticket retailer, beating Star Wars The Force Awakens, and it only took 6 hours.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Now, especially after this, I'm really thinking that this movie might be the #1.
Do you think it can dethrone
best-selling
Avatar?
movie. It's possible. I mean, it is like with this, especially, it's very possible that this could be it.
It's so strange because pre-everything, I assumed that Infinity War could have dethroned Avatar.
Me too. Or I was considering that it could have.
I believed that there was a strong chance it could have.
Mm-hmm.
And after Infinity War, I was like, you know what? I don't think it's possible. Like, maybe Avatar 2 does it, but I think that was just a different time for movies.
Yeah.
Now, seeing this, with how little marketing Marvel has done for Endgame, all things considered,
Very little, yeah.
I think it might be possible for them to dethrone Avatar. I don't know if I'm crazy.
I think it's very possible.
I don't think it's likely, but I think there is a chance.
The only other movie, and it's funny because it's coming out this year, the only other movie franchise that I think could do it is Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Episode 9 will be up there.
Okay.
We'll see about that. We'll see about that. But I think, yeah, this movie has the potential to do it. And I'm excited to see
It's so wild what this movie is already doing.
Yeah.
Are you guys like J. Cole fans at all?
No.
I know this is kind of a tangent, but he like always, everything he makes goes platinum, and he does no marketing for it. Like all his newer stuff.
Yeah.
Like, Endgame, that's his thing, and Avengers Endgame is having far more success with it than he is.
that. Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah. I'm impressed, and then at the same time, I wanted to bring up a question.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've seen this debate a couple times online, and I want to get your guys' take on it. So Avengers Endgame comes out end of April. In May, there is another film coming out, which is the first of its kind, and it is based on a worldwide phenomenon, Detective Pikachu.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think makes more money within the first weekend? Avengers Endgame or Detective Pikachu?
Oh, that's a good question. My mind goes to Avengers.
Because the more you think of it, the harder of a question that
It is.
It's
That's
very
exactly
hard.
right.
Yeah.
Because if you think about this, think of how many people there are still to this day that either blow off superhero movies or have comic book fatigue or prefer DC or don't like Marvel or are pissed off at Brie Larson still for no reason. Like, think about all those people, and I don't think that's enough, but Pokemon, pretty much everybody knows Pokemon.
Yeah, and there's no ill will towards Pokemon.
Even people our age that might not be into Marvel or are over Marvel, they grew up playing Pokemon. If they see a live action Pikachu on screen for the first time ever, and it's Ryan Reynolds and looks funny, I feel like there's something there that could be a magic bullet, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like they have, the thing that makes me think that it could is they have the same enemy. Super devout religious people don't like Marvel movies, and they definitely don't like
Pokemon.
a game centering around evolution. So, but I don't know, man. Detective Pikachu, it's so much more captivating to a worldwide audience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's where I'm thinking.
Because
I know the Marvel movies usually do super well in China
Yep.
and overseas, but Pokemon is huge in Europe. Pokemon is huge everywhere. Pokemon is insanely big, you know?
Yeah. It sounds like you guys are leaning towards Pokemon. I'm going to say Avengers.
I want to say Avengers.
I think
so
it
bad.
might.
I really don't know what side to land on there.
And you're saying this, you're on day 2 of Pokemon, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go follow My First Mom.
Yeah.
You should go promo that. That's going to be a great show. But there is so much Like Pokemon Go made everybody walk for 3 days.
Oh, yeah.
straight.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
Americans hate walking more than
That's so
anything
true.
else. in
And
the
like
world.
ever since I know this is like a super tangent, but ever since Pokemon Go, I feel like they've been having a resurgence kind of with the grand scheme of everybody.
Big time.
So I'm interested to see what happens. I mean, if you want to see how crazy people are about Endgame,
Yeah.
I also wrote down that people are selling their opening night tickets for $10,000.
Yeah, you said that. That's
yeah. That
insane.
being said, I'm siding with Jack again. It's going to be Endgame.
That's insane to me.
Yeah.
That is absolutely ridiculous. And we were mentioning before the show, it's probably like theaters like Kabuki or places like that in LA or like very famous theaters like
New
that.
York, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but like that's something. Like I understand being upset that you didn't get opening night tickets, but
Yeah.
like
wait a day.
unless you have a guarantee that the cast is gonna be there that one time,
Right.
Like,
I got a hypothetical
come on,
for
wait.
you guys.
What's up?
If you were dumb rich
Mm-hmm.
and you knew for a fact, like the Russo brothers approached you at a rich person party, I don't know, and they're like, "Hey, this thing's gonna get spoiled on Twitter. You got to see it the first time you can."
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
drop the $10,000 on it? Mildly rich. You're mildly rich.
If I
It's gonna
had,
be a hit. That $10,000, but
if I frequently spend around that much, then yeah,
okay, you don't.
I might still.
Okay.
I don't know if I can.
Yeah. So this entire next 3 weeks is gonna be insane for how everything shakes out.
Really trying to avoid spoilers and
Yeah.
really doing a bad job of it.
Me too.
I've muted words on Twitter.
Yeah.
People just post things without words
Yeah.
and goes viral.
Yeah.
and
There was
it's
that.
really impossible.
There was that minute-long bonus look
I sure did not look at that.
that had. I saw a clip of it
Uh-huh.
that I was not a fan of seeing. I saw a screenshot, which I was like, fine. I wish I didn't see that, but it's okay because it's just like waist down of 3 people. It's like, okay, fine. But yeah,
Waist
I'm
down?
Yeah.
Huh.
It was like, do you care?
You
It's not really a spoiler. It's like 3.
you can say it.
You see waist down. You see Tony in the Iron Man suit.
Okay.
You see Thor's cape, and you see Cap with the shield.
Oh,
Waist,
that's actually cool still.
Waist down, like the ground is burnt,
I see.
and I have no idea where they are. They could be in space. They could be on Earth.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah,
Right.
I saw and you and I were mentioning this. I saw Pat, do you care or have you seen it? You've probably already seen it.
What the
You were watching it on
description?
our shift.
Yeah, no, I
Okay,
watched
yeah,
the
okay.
commercial already. I
Okay,
loved
so I saw
If you skipped like 10 seconds, if you don't want to know.
yeah,
anything.
skip 10 or 15. What I saw was Cap and Iron Man staring at each other.
Yeah.
it. Yeah, it was.
And you mentioned that you heard something from that.
I heard one word.
Yeah, and
Like, save that moment.
yeah, I
You
didn't
know?
want to. I didn't want to see that. And
When did Civil War come out? 2015?
2016.
2016?
Yeah.
It's been 3
I
years
know
since
it.
they've been on screen together. Like,
I have
save that.
I have a theory about that though. That they're doing that just so people know.
Mess with people.
What?
Oh, I
not
hope
not
that-
that could be that, but it could also be like, this isn't the main. Like we're showing you this in the trailer.
This is not a
This
big
isn't
deal.
the main part of the
Oh.
movie.
Oh, cool.
I don't know.
And also, I'm on eBay right now. You know how your theory was like the fancy Chinese theater in LA.
Kabuki?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not the case.
What is it?
Tampa, Florida, $1,500.
What?
Wow.
Avengers Endgame, Row D, Wauwatosa, Wisconsin, $250.
No.
Hollywood Dome, $500.
Okay, that's more.
New York
Dude,
City,
wait a day.
New York City at $545, $1,900, not thousand.
Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah, no.
All right.
That's dumb. Yeah, we got it for Thursday.
Thursday at 6 p.m.
So maybe you can explain this to me. Opening day is supposed to be the 26th.
Yeah.
But we're seeing it on the 25th at like 6.
Yeah.
It's not even midnight screenings anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
so
what's the deal?
I think around when The Dark Knight Rises came out, that was one of the last times I remember the premiere being midnight on Thursday.
Mhm.
Ever since then, they tried to make it more trendy so they can extend the weekend box office.
I see.
And it's usually 7. 7 is usually when it opens up.
Yeah.
I was talking to Pat about this the other day. I feel like because it's 3 hours,
Oh,
they started at 6. So
That
that way
makes
they can
sense.
get probably 2 screenings in that night.
oof. I'm just thinking about it right now, guys. Just sitting down with a big old tub of popcorn
And then,
and a Coke, some
Yeah,
candy.
I'm gonna splurge.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, I mean I do a lot, but a lot of movies I don't get like popcorn at. But with these types of movies, I'm always getting a popcorn. Come on.
Last year for the Infinity War premiere, I went by myself and I got a $25 commemorative popcorn tin and cup.
Oh hell yeah!
Doing it again if I have
Yeah.
it.
Honestly,
Definitely.
that's not a bad purchase too. 'cause
It
you're
wasn't.
gonna
They were
spend,
both large.
You're gonna spend like $19.
Yeah.
For what we're getting.
Well,
Totally worth it.
that's the end of Endgame talk for now.
Okay.
But speaking of money,
You really get these transitions there, Christian.
I try my best. Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel made a new record. Captain Marvel has joined the $1 billion club at
Hey,
Marvel.
well done.
I realized we forgot to clap at the beginning, of this, so that's how that syncs up.
Wait, this is the 7th movie to do that?
This is the
Sorry to
seventh,
steal
the
your
seventh
headline there.
MCU film to reach
Wow.
and pass $1 billion.
Do you have a list of them?
Damn.
I don't. Pat, you want to pull that up?
Yeah, do you
Yeah,
want to pull
I
that
get
list
it.
up?
So yeah, Captain Marvel, well deserved. I had a feeling it was going to reach $1 billion
Yeah.
because it was the first female Marvel film,
Mm-hmm.
female-led Marvel film, and yeah, Captain Marvel was a good movie.
Yeah, it was a good movie, definitely.
All right, I got a list.
Despite what all the headlines would have said and what all the trolls would have tried to
Yeah.
make you believe.
It's a good
Yeah.
movie.
It's a good
It's a
movie.
great. I don't even know how you control a movie like that.
Yeah.
The regular Avengers, first Avengers movie, Iron Man 3, Age of Ultron, Civil War, Black Panther, Infinity War, and now Captain Marvel.
Cool.
And in like 3 weeks is going to be Endgame because that
Oh,
if that
definitely.
doesn't pass the billion club. That's insane.
Yeah,
Very cool. Yeah, Captain Marvel's a real good movie.
it is.
I want to see more of it. I want to see more female superheroes, especially Black Widow.
Black Widow, which we got news about.
Oh, yes. So, yeah, very exciting. Very good. Congrats.
It is very exciting.
I want to see a superhero kid.
Yeah. that'd be
I don't
cool.
think
want-
we're that far.
I'd love to see 2 superheroes have a kid and just like have that like Jack. I want to see a Jack.
Oh,
in the
that'd be
MCU.
dope.
That'd be
A
pretty cool.
juggernaut that doesn't know how to use anything it gives or it has.
Yeah.
Moving on then. Speaking of, you brought up Black Widow. Let's just talk about this right now. We got some news about casting again for Black Widow,
Ooh, yes. I know what you're about to say.
which is rumored to begin production in June
Ooh, cool.
in Europe, I believe London. So,
Okay.
the casting news we have, the casting rumor, I don't know if this is confirmed yet,
Yeah.
but from Deadline, Stranger Things star David Harbour is joining Scarlett Johansson in Black Widow, Marvel's standalone feature on the Avengers spy turned superheroine.
Nice. I like that guy.
Me too, he's great.
He's very cool as what's his name?
Sheriff Hopper.
Hopper in Stranger Things.
Yeah,
I still haven't seen that trailer for season 3.
you don't need to.
I've seen your meme.
It looks cool. I like Stranger Things, but whenever they drop that, like, oh, cool, it's the monster shot. It's like,
Yeah.
ugh.
Yeah, true.
But Hopper and Joyce, their storyline is always my favorite.
Yeah, I think he's an incredible actor in
Yeah.
that show. And I'm very interested to see like what he's gonna be in that movie.
Yeah, like, do you think he's gonna be like some CIA, FBI guy? Maybe he's the one who brings in.
I hope he's like a Coulson character or like a Samuel L. Jackson character in Captain Marvel.
That's what I'm thinking. Like maybe because we know Black Widow turns to the U.S.
Yes.
She becomes a Shield agent. Maybe he's the guy from Shield who like brings her and recruits her.
Yeah.
Because I know Hawkeye spared her life, right? Is that what why she
Yeah,
owed him?
something like that.
So maybe he's in the.
They
mix.
mentioned something about Budapest. Right?
Probably.
They did.
Perhaps he's a Russian with a really
Yeah,
bad
maybe.
Russian accent.
Maybe.
We'll see.
You know, I will say I don't think he's gonna be just a CIA guy, because he plays Hellboy now.
It is. Yeah.
He's shredded.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
He lost. Like I'm looking at some side by side photo of him. He lost a ton of weight.
Oh yeah.
He's like jacked.
Yeah, he's ripped.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like Henry Cavill played a American CIA guy in Mission Impossible,
That's true.
and he's like one of the strongest men I've ever seen.
Yeah, he's a big buff boy.
So he could just be like David Harbour could just like mess some stuff up in a Russian bathroom or something.
Well, what I meant was like I didn't think he was gonna be like a Nick Fury. I think he's actually gonna be.
Oh,
doing
he's gonna do
something.
some stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. He's gonna have some cool
gonna
fight
throw
scenes.
that body around.
Weird to say that about Nick Fury.
It's cool to see David Harbour break in movies though,
Yeah,
because again he is one of my favorite parts of Stranger Things.
Me too.
So, this reporting from Deadline also mentions that they hear Rachel Weisz is also in talks to join the cast. Currently, no negotiations have taken place, but she is in talks. A couple weeks ago, we mentioned that Florence Pugh from Fighting With My Family,
Yep.
I believe, has been cast in the film. So, Black Widow's shaping up.
Yeah, when do you think this movie is gonna release? Do they have a release date?
So, if they're starting production in June, I can't imagine it's going to be this crazy sci-fi movie, probably more Winter Soldier scale.
I think so.
Even though Winter Soldier ended with this giant CG thing. Maybe fall of next year. We were talking about this the other day.
Very cool. I would like that.
Fall of 2020, maybe Black Widow movie.
Yeah,
I'd like that a lot.
that was a fun conversation because Christian forgot what year it was. I thought it was coming out next
you think,
year.
What year did you think it
I was like, I could see like fall of next year because he said 2020, and I was like, I don't know, that seems far. I could see like fall next year,
Yeah.
and then I was like, oh, it's 2019.
You thought it was 2018?
Yeah,
Happens.
yeah. I mean, Black Widow. who knows how far away it is.
Yeah.
But we do have one last thing to talk about that is probably very far away if
Okay.
it ever happens.
Let's hear it.
Ben Hansen is a very, very charming podcast host of the Game Informer show.
Okay.
Game Informer, which if you don't listen to their podcast, I really recommend it because I started listening to them probably like around December, and I was like, this is great. I don't know why I've avoided Game Informer for so long because I had the magazine forever. But
You kind of sandbagging Jack.
what's that?
You kind of sandbagging Jack.
What do you mean?
Political Sunrise.
the Game Informer show?
No, don't you? You have a game podcast, right?
I do.
Yeah. Oh, never
Game
mind.
Informer is the magazine.
Yeah, Game Informer is a big old
Like-
company.
big publication.
Edit that out.
No, we're good.
Jack also has a good show that he will plug at the end of the
I'll
show,
plug
which
that
I
at the end.
recommend as well. But yeah, so Ben Hansen, he did a rapid fire interview with Mortal Kombat producer Ed Boon.
Yeah.
The rapid fire interviews are really good. They do them for pretty much every cover story they have. This month is Mortal Kombat 11, and through the rapid fire interview with him, I think he asked like 166 questions. One of those questions was, have you ever been approached or approached Marvel about making a Marvel fighting game? And Ed Boon said they have actually. Ben Hansen, this is quoting him, he said, "Are you excited about that idea?" Ed Boon responded, "Oh God, yes. I probably shouldn't have said anything. Marvel versus DC, that would just be the coolest."
That would be awesome.
NetherRealm Studios, Mortal Kombat 10, 11,
Yeah.
9, they've been doing Mortal Kombat forever. Also been doing Injustice, Gods Among Us. Injustice 2 is a very good fighting game with an excellent story. Mortal Kombat 11 looks fantastic. So I would love to see Ed Boon spearhead a Marvel fighting game.
For sure. I'm not a fighting game guy.
Me either.
I played Injustice 1 because I liked DC back in the day, and I still do. So I was like, oh, I'll play it for the story.
Yeah.
And I didn't love the story all that much from what I remembered, and I was just really bad at it. I like combos and like predicting people's moves, just like I can't do it at all. I'm really bad. So, but I think it would be awesome if we could see a Marvel fighting game of that caliber, especially if it would be a Marvel versus DC fighting game. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, because Marvel has had a presence in the fighting game community for decades at this point because of Marvel vs. Capcom.
Right.
And word has it that the most recent Marvel vs. Capcom, Marvel was not happy with because it was not good.
Ooh.
Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, which was the fourth installment, I believe, fourth main installment. So yeah, NetherRealm, I think, has perfected some form of storytelling in video games. I think they make the best fighting game stories. I know Pat likes Injustice a lot.
I love I never played any of the games, but I love the story. I just really got into that recently, and it's fantastic. That
Yes.
one, yeah.
I
I will say this though, it's just me fantasizing. If they made a Marvel vs. DC game that was in the style of like Xenoverse, you ever played those games before?
yeah.
Dragon Ball Xenoverse? I feel like that'd be perfect.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool too. Yeah. NetherRealm does super well with their visual fidelity.
Yeah.
Like the faces in Injustice 2, I'm not joking, are the best faces I've seen in any video game ever. They are so good. They're so good.
High praise.
Um,
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. That's
definitely, yeah. Honestly, if you're curious, just watch the cutscenes for Injustice 2 because
Yeah.
it's pretty much like a full Justice League movie.
oh, true.
And it is the best Justice League movie I've ever seen.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to give that a go.
So yeah, would love to see him do a Marvel game. Marvel versus DC would be cool because
Yeah.
Marvel and DC have crossed over in the past.
Yeah, they did a comic run at one point or another. Wonder Woman picked up Thor's hammer. Is that correct?
Yeah.
What else happened? What else happened in that?
I don't know. I don't know much about it. I know they did like what if sort of things like,
Right.
oh, what if Stanley created Batman or something like that. So
that's
like
cool.
Stanley did an issue of Batman.
Oh, that's
and like
awesome.
did his take on it. Like stuff like that.
That's
So-
really cool.
So they have played nice in the past. That's
Yeah.
when like I think that was in the 90s when
That was in the
Marvel wasn't
90s.
doing too hot.
Yeah,
But I would love to see them cross over in some capacity to this day.
definitely.
So that about wraps up the first half of the show. That's all the news we got to cover. That was a beefy news segment.
Yeah.
I don't know how the next few weeks are going to shake out with news just because we're so close to Endgame.
This is a last minute addition or question.
Yeah.
That I just thought of. Did New Mutants just get confirmed that it's coming out this year?
It is.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
That is a definite out of CinemaCon. New Mutants is releasing, and Dark Phoenix is still releasing.
You think they're just tossing that one out there and be like,
Probably. I'm excited for New Mutants. It looked cool.
Yeah, it looks
I like the
fascinating.
trailer a lot.
Yeah,
so.
it looks like the most unique superhero movie I can think of.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
But will that be the final Fox standalone?
I believe it will.
Interesting.
Yeah. So,
Well,
look
cool.
forward to that.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're going to review Dark Phoenix at all, but
I don't know.
It's Marvel. I'm probably seeing it.
Yeah.
So, what we have seen, though, is Ant-Man and the Wasp. And when we come back from our quick break, we will be talking all about that and ranking it in the MCU. Be back in a second.
You ready for another bout?
What, you getting sleepy?
Welcome back to the show. It is now time to talk, debrief Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Hell yeah.
This movie I have seen once before last night.
Really?
Yes, I saw it once in theaters. I enjoyed it. Wasn't sure if I liked it more than the first Ant-Man because I really liked that movie. And I had a blast with this.
How do you... Maybe we could talk about this later, or we could start it off. Do you like it more than the first Ant-Man?
I don't know. As of right now, I'm not sure where I stand. Because the thing that I like so much about the first Ant-Man is it's so focused on being a heist movie.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my favorite things about heist movies is the surrounding cast, the ensemble, and the way they play off each other. In the first Ant-Man, especially his relationship, Paul Rudd with Evangeline Lilly, with Michael Douglas, Michael Pena, and then T.I.
Yeah,
and,
T.I.'s in there.
What's the other guy's name? David something?
Yeah, the dude in The Dark Knight, The Dark Knight who was tortured by Harvey Dent for a hot sec.
All of them, I love their crew, and I love the introduction to them. I love so much about the heist and the job and everything like that in Ant-Man. And
It's David Dasmalkian. That's probably butchered, but that's
Dasmalkian, I think.
Dasmalkian.
I think that's what it is. So yeah, I like that part of the original Ant-Man a lot, but I really like Michael Douglas a lot more in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Mm-hmm.
I like Evangeline Lilly the same. I already liked her a lot in the first Ant-Man, but I like her even more now.
Yeah.
Also, not to interrupt again, but fun fact, David Dasmalkian said that Thanos wouldn't stand a chance against his character in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
That's fair.
Sure. And then
Baba Yaga.
I love that. And then the stuff with his family, like Judy Greer and the guy from Boardwalk Empire.
Yeah.
I like his character more in Ant-Man and the Wasp just because he's like a funny guy now.
Yeah.
In the first one, he was like such an antagonist, and I know that was the point, but like I like of all of Scott's families, I guess, in this,
right?
Like with Hank and Hope, then with his crew, and then with his actual family. Yeah. I like all those little circles.
I like this movie a lot. I probably talk about it more. I probably talk up how much I like about it more than I actually do. For whatever reason, I just like have so much fun with this movie.
Yeah, it is.
It's so hilarious.
It is.
Every character in this movie is really funny. Like the bits they do in this, I love. The magic trick joke, the ongoing bit is just absolutely hysterical.
The magic joke lands because I feel like they come back to that specific magic joke 3 times because the rule 3 is in comedy.
Right.
I talked about this on the Guardians 2 episode. Rule 3 was in Guardians 2, and it did not work every time.
Yeah.
Like the it's not ripe joke.
Yeah, I didn't like that one either.
But the magic trick I thought landed every time.
Yeah. How'd you do it, Scott? What? The magic trick.
Yeah. Yeah, so much of the humor in this, again, I love so much. I think it's probably up there with Guardians 2 for me as the funniest Marvel movie.
Oh, yeah.
Even more than Ragnarok. Ragnarok has great one-liners, but I feel like the situational comedy in this is so funny.
I think so, too.
Michael Pena, especially.
Michael Pena is great, and I also adore Randall Park.
That is...
Who is, he played Kim Jong-un in the interview.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's
And
he
played the FBI guy
Yeah.
in this.
Wu?
Yeah,
Dr.
he played Officer Wu.
Henry Wu?
Yeah.
No, that's Henry Wu's Jurassic World. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I think it was just Agent Wu.
Yeah.
Agent Wu, yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, I thought his character was absolutely hysterical.
Yeah.
I'm also a youth minister.
Yeah,
That was so good.
Yeah, he's just like, I don't know. I think he's so funny. Like,
Yeah.
The whole like, do you want to go out for dinner? It's like, yeah.
I love that he comes back to it too. It's like, okay, we're done with that awkward moment. He comes back and he's like, did you have plans?
Yeah.
So much of the humor like that is so funny, and I like the lingering shots too, because there are a few moments where the camera just lingers and it sells the joke even more. Like there's the moment when Michael Pena is talking out the window and then he's just like slowly moving back and he's like, I'm the boss.
I'm the boss.
I'm the boss. I'm the boss.
That's
and he just,
so
like,
funny.
slowly goes out of the frame.
The opening of this, I think specifically with his daughter, I know it opens kind of like as a lead-in from the first Ant-Man.
Yeah.
With Hank and
Janet.
Janet and Hank and Hope.
Mm-hmm.
But the opening with Paul Rudd and his daughter is the
really
cutest thing.
That's so good.
It's essentially like Indiana Jones in the Raiders of the Lost Ark, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just like he made their own like cave
Micro maze.
Yeah, micro maze. It's so cool.
I watched that in my house, and for like 2 minutes, I was like, how many boxes do we have here? Because I would love to just set that up throughout my house.
Yeah, both introductions are good. And I like that Marvel has taken some chances with doing some cold opens now.
Mm-hmm.
Like the this one specifically, how it sort of retells that scene from the first Ant-Man, like you said, of the mission where Janet went subatomic, and humanizing it with seeing Hope before they leave.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the face tech. This was one of the first times where it really got me.
Michelle Pfeiffer looks awesome.
And Michael Douglas too, because they don't show him because like there was that really showy moment in the first Ant-Man where he punches that SHIELD agent.
Right.
But yeah, he's in the background here, de-age, and then Michelle Pfeiffer is in the spotlight. And I was like, you look like straight out of Batman Returns right now.
Yeah, she looks great. That's the first note I have here. Michelle Pfeiffer looks great. It's actually Michelle PF period looks great because I don't know how to spell Pfeiffer.
You got the first two right.
Is it PF something?
Pfeiffer, I believe.
Okay.
So
Fife.
Michelle Pfeiffer, good choice.
Yeah.
I wish she was in it more, but good
Me too.
choice.
Maybe.
Do you think she's gonna be in it coming forward more?
Probably.
Yeah.
Like we spent an entire movie getting here. I hope she's involved.
Yeah. If they do another Ant-Man, which I imagine they are.
I think that was up in the air after 2 came out.
Is that true?
Yeah. I don't know if it is now. Like
Yeah,
it
who
could be
knows?
more set now.
Can I? Sorry to interrupt
Yeah,
one last time. I want to get your take on this. Do you guys think this is a for real question? Will his or Ant-Man's sleight of hand play a role in Endgame?
I don't know. I think that might have just been a joke for this movie.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be a one-off, or it could be like a little tie back.
Yeah. There's
Maybe.
I think that's one of those things that matter in a particular movie, but doesn't matter at all in like a team up. There's a lot of those examples in the Avengers.
Like Karen
Fair.
in
Karen.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
suit
Exactly.
AI never
Exactly.
comes up in Infinity War.
No. Yeah.
Or Civil War.
That'll come up probably again in Far From Home. Though,
Probably.
You know, like
Yeah.
in their insular like one-off movies, those are like very integral parts.
Right. And like even with Ant-Man, if you want to draw that comparison, the Luis's retelling of events
Yeah.
is exclusive to the Ant-Man movies, you know.
I hope it's not. I hope he shows up in Endgame. That'd be hilarious.
That'd be something.
But I imagine it probably won't.
I thought his recap in this one was funnier.
Yeah.
A lot funnier.
Yeah, because it involves Hope. It involves Ant-Man himself,
Mhm.
and like I was just imagining like all of these characters have to say their lines, like
And with the attitude too, because
yeah,
you see
with
like
the attitude.
Evangeline Lilly throwing snaps
Yeah.
and like head
so,
shaking.
yeah, they have to like listen to Michael Pena's lines
And
then,
do an
like, act it
impression of
out.
him. Yeah, it's
so
fun.
funny.
So the beginning of this movie, we pick up after the end of Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
We see that Scott Lang is in house arrest from, I guess, going against 2 governments.
Yeah,
And he took the plea deal like Hawkeye did to
Mhm.
be with his family again, which we brought this up when we talked about Civil War. They broke out of the raft and they were
Yeah.
just like, yeah, so we're going to take the option to just stay in our houses for 2 years.
yeah, they got a good deal out of
They
that.
did, yeah.
2 years. So, was Civil War in 2016?
I'm not sure.
I don't know the deal
I don't know the
with
Marvel
their years.
timeline.
I think it was.
Okay, I believe it.
We'll just say it was, and then that would make sense because then it came. I mean, obviously, it came out in 2018, and Infinity War came out in 2018, and it takes place like during the events of Infinity
Kinda,
War.
yeah.
Or
Probably
maybe
like
not,
right
actually.
before.
yeah, the end credit sequence, obviously, we'll get to.
We will.
Does take place
During
the events,
and we have no idea what the time gap was.
that could
between-
be another few months. It
Mhm.
could be a year, probably not, but like a decent amount of time has probably passed.
I bet it's a couple months
yeah,
at
it's
least.
probably a few
Probably.
months actually.
Because they took time after get engaging in this huge battle.
Yeah.
To like, they wouldn't just go right like, all right, let's go suck up some quantum
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
exactly.
And
So-
I think they would be talking about the events of Infinity
Oh,
War
yeah.
during this movie. So it's probably a couple months.
So movie kicks off, reuniting Scott with, like we mentioned, Scott with Cassie and Scott with Luis. And Cassie's great.
Yeah, she's
Cassie's
awesome.
so good. Talk about one of the most talented child actors you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Some of her stuff made me laugh so hard.
The police jokes I think are hilarious.
They are, yeah. I love also at the end when Scott is giant in the San Francisco Bay,
Yeah.
and then you cut to Judy Greer and her husband's face, and they're like in shock.
Yeah.
And it's just a slow pan down. She looks so smug.
Oh yeah, she's
She
like
knows
smiling.
exactly what's
Yeah.
happening. The grandma joke is good, and we mentioned this earlier, talking about a young superhero. In the comics, Cassie becomes a character who is also in a suit that allows her to shrink and grow.
Ah, she mentioned interest in this. in
Yeah,
this
she
film.
did.
She wanted to be the partner. I thought that was really cute.
Yeah, it was. So yeah, who knows if she sticks around for long enough? Maybe she takes over as that Ant-Man or Wasp role.
Yeah. I wrote down here just a general note. Paul Rudd's the best. Is he not?
You want to talk about notes? I usually put down a couple notes on the show notes.
Yeah.
Ant-Man and the Wasp review in bold. Underneath it just says Paul Rudd. That is the
I
only note
love
I have.
Paul Rudd. He's
Paul Rudd
awesome.
is so good. I love him.
He is just like, it's impossible not to love him.
Yeah.
My roommate Arena, shout out to Arena, has a just massive crush on Paul Rudd for some reason. Like, he's cool and all, but like that's the person she loves for some reason.
Yeah,
but I understand he's really funny.
Mhm.
Also pretty ripped in this.
Yeah.
I must say.
Yeah, there's that shot of him, I think, when he's like putting the ankle cover
Yeah.
on, and you just see like he's shredded in this movie.
Like you wouldn't think, but he takes that shirt off and it's like, oh boy.
Yeah, because he was ripped in the first Ant-Man.
Yeah.
But even now, it's like you are like 2% body fat right now.
And like
dude.
it's funny because he doesn't need to be ripped,
He
but
doesn't, yeah.
I bet he was like, oh, Chris Hemsworth and Chris Evans, they get that one shirtless shot every movie. I want that,
Yeah.
and he did it.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah.
And yeah, a lot of this movie I like. One of the aspects I like is the urgency of it all, because you constantly feel like there needs to be something that they're not doing that they should be doing. Whether it's Scott trying to get back to his home so the FBI doesn't show up and he's not there, or they just see a giant ant, or tracking down Hank Pym's lab before Ghost gets it, or before the mobster Sonny gets it. There's a lot of that kind of thing. It's not necessarily a MacGuffin, like it kind of is when you throw the lab into the mix.
Yeah.
But there is an urgency, which I appreciate, to the entire thing, especially coming after Infinity War. I feel like that was needed.
Yeah.
And so it just didn't feel like it was a fun little romp, you
Right.
know? Like there are stakes. They are trying to find Hope's mom in the quantum realm. And yeah, I really think this is a very fun movie. There's not much I don't like about it. There are things I feel like I could have done better, but it's just a good time, and I really liked it more than I thought I was going to.
That's good. Yeah, that's the thing about this movie. I feel like it's just so easy to put on, and just like throw it on in the background, or just kind of if you want to be engaged with it, then you can. Yeah, I've never not enjoyed myself watching this movie. I think it's so fun, and I think it's needed after, like you said, but in a different way. Like it's this type of thing was needed after Infinity War to kind of just dull the tone down a little bit, and kind of set up movies coming after it, like Captain Marvel,
And an Endgame.
and Endgame. Yeah, just to like be like, all right, let's have a break for a little bit, because
Yeah.
that was pretty intense after Infinity War.
It was, yeah.
Infinity War was the depression, and Ant-Man the Wasp was like Prozac.
Yeah,
Very much needed.
for sure.
I also feel like this is in that rare like category of Marvel movies where like my roommate aptly calls them girlfriend movies, because you can just put them on with your girlfriend there, and like anybody can enjoy it.
That's
you don't
very
need to
true.
know all the intricacies of the MCU.
I can see that.
We've talked about this before on the show, where Marvel has gone to a point now where they just make a movie of a genre and then call it a superhero movie. This, again, feels like one of those cases.
Yeah, this is a comedy.
Yeah,
for sure.
because Ant-Man, the first Ant-Man, I would have said was just a straight-up heist movie with comedic parts. This feels like a comedy,
Yeah,
you know?
and this is again by Peyton Reed, right?
I'm glad that Peyton stuck around, because
Me too.
I like having consistency in these.
Yeah.
I hope if they make a third, he comes back again.
Yeah, what I think works with this movie more than the first, I definitely think he improved with
yeah.
this one. And I think there was a lot of issues with with him not being the original director. Of course,
Edgar Wright.
Edgar Wright was going to be the original director.
And you feel his fingerprints on Ant-Man.
You do. And I would have loved that to see that, but I still liked Peyton Reed's work in Ant-Man. I didn't love that movie. I didn't hate it, but I think it's fine. I think this movie is like significantly better, in my personal opinion. And I think he has more of a hand in this one.
Yeah.
And you can tell, and I appreciate that.
Definitely. Let's talk about the antagonist.
Yeah.
Ghost. Ava Starr.
Okay.
I think is her name. So Ava, I thought was, again, good, similar to, I guess, Jude Law and Captain Marvel. She wasn't really, I never thought of her as a villain.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Like, she's as much as a villain as Bucky Barnes is, you know?
Yeah.
Like, she's killed some people for S.H.I.E.L.D. He killed people for Hydra. And then she's just kind of doing her thing because she's in immense pain because of science problems.
By the way, you were way off on the star.
I thought it was Ava Starr.
Hannah John Kamen.
That is not it.
It says play. Hold on.
No, I'm talking about the
character's
character.
name.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
It took me a second. It's all right.
You guys know by now I'm terrible with character names. It's just like
So
the daughter, the friend.
Yeah.
her relationship with Lawrence Fishburne I liked. Also, Lawrence Fishburne's in this movie.
Yeah, very cool.
I forgot about that.
I wish I had him in like a more significant role.
Yeah.
Because now I'm thinking that's like, oh, well, what if we need Lawrence Fishburne for this role? And it's like we already used him.
Yeah.
But it's cool that he's in here.
Yeah, it's another case of Marvel just adding to their lineup. Like, again, recently we talked about Angelina Jolie. I would probably put her around the same platform as I put Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah.
So, like, getting people like that to just be like, oh, yeah, they're in this one.
Pretty cool.
It's cool, yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, Walton Goggins.
Oh, I love that actor.
Yeah, he's a great character actor.
Yeah.
And he is very underrated.
I think so too. Hateful Eight, amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
He was the villain in Tomb Raider, I think, the recent one. But he was pretty good in that,
Yeah.
like, for what it was.
He's funny in this.
He's very funny.
He's really funny.
I love his accent, too.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
Sunny.
Yeah, he does a really good job of that. Like, you're right, he's a really good character actor. And yeah, the thing with the villains in this movie is that I don't think any of them are threatening. And I don't think they're really supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because Ghost isn't, like what you said, isn't really a villain. I never viewed her as a villain. She's just trying to, like, fix her life.
Yeah.
And if someone gets in the way, then they get in the way. Sonny is a villain, but the movie doesn't take him seriously enough to be, like, threatening.
Yeah, he's just an obstacle.
Yeah, he's just an obstacle. But that's fine. I think he's funny. And his, I love his crew with him.
Yeah.
Especially towards the end of the movie. The truth serum.
The
joke.
truth serum is very funny.
Yeah.
Just the scene where they break into ex-con, which is a fantastic name for their company.
Yeah.
Yeah, when the back and forth between him and Luis about it being truth serum or not.
Right.
And then he gets the truth serum and then he just goes off on like everything. I think T.I. has the line. It's like, if you put a diamond, you got to let the whole song play. Then the Baba Yaga joke.
Baba Yaga.
It's so funny. The music too, it chimes in. It's like the little like the fiddle. It's so good.
Oh, that's hilarious.
By the way, wild to say that T.I. is part of the MCU.
Yeah,
Never thought I'd see that.
it's crazy.
That's really funny.
Also, fun fact I just found out when I was looking up Sonny Birch. There's a bunch of theories online saying that he's a Hydra agent.
Interesting.
Food for thought.
I could see it.
I mean, I would believe it because of what we learned with Winter Soldier. Like, everybody's Hydra.
Yeah.
So that'd be something. Maybe he was like former Hydra and just was like, you know what? I got these connections. I'm just gonna run my own thing now.
Right.
But yeah, I like Ant-Man the Wasp because it's light. It is still a very entertaining movie. It's a good time. It does have repercussions for the whole MCU.
It does.
Surprisingly.
And I think it will have more once we learn about it.
Yeah, especially in Endgame.
Endgame, yeah.
And it is just a really good time. I think it's like better than mid-tier Marvel, that phrase that you've coined.
I always keep saying
across
it's
the
mid-tier
past few
Marvel.
months.
Yeah. I would say, so in my mind, there's like God tier, there's high tier, there's mid tier, and there's low tier. I think this is like really good
Yeah.
mid tier content.
Interesting.
I'd say like mid or high.
I'm curious to see how the rankings shake out.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp, good time. Let's talk about Evangeline Lilly too, because this was I read this in this little book here, and it's pretty much common knowledge, but unless you like see it or hear it or speak it out loud, doesn't really dawn on you. Evangeline Lilly is the first female superhero to have her name in the title of a Marvel movie.
Ah, interesting.
The Wasp.
Very cool.
Yeah.
She's awesome in this.
I love her.
Yeah, I'm rewatching Lost right now.
Oh, nice.
I'm on season 6 now.
Cool.
And that's the final season. And yeah, it's funny seeing her in like 2004 to 2011 versus her in this movie. She has not aged a day.
Oh, she hasn't. No.
She looks great.
I mean, she played an elf in The Hobbit.
Yeah, she did. You're
So,
right.
just like Orlando Bloom,
Yeah, definitely
does not age.
So yeah, she's great in this. She's definitely great, and I would say I'm excited to see her in Endgame, but I don't know if she's gonna be there. I mean, she's got a poster,
She does.
so who knows?
Like Chadwick Boseman said, I'm dead. She's dead.
There was an interview a couple of days ago at CinemaCon, I think, where someone was asking Chadwick Boseman about the ticket sales for Endgame,
Yeah.
and then he's like, "I'm glad that people are so excited about it, but I'm dead." And then they kept pushing. He's like, "I'm dead." And it's like, "Are you sure we don't want to? We're not done with you yet." And he's like, "That's great, but I'm dead." So,
Jeez.
yeah, it's something.
Yeah.
MCU.
Sorry, I feel like I keep distracting your thoughts.
Oh no,
No, that's
I
good.
mean,
I didn't know that.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, I feel like there's not much to latch onto as far as
Right.
deep discussion. I think the comedy in this movie is great.
Oh, I think it's awesome.
And there's only so much we can talk about with the comedy.
Can I say something before I forget it?
Sure.
I mentioned this earlier in the program. This has the best Stan Lee cameo
Oh,
in any
yeah,
movie,
it's
in my
really
opinion.
Do you have it
Well,
written down?
yeah. Well, the 60s were fun, but now I'm paying for it.
His car just shrinks.
In-game confirmation that Stan Lee took a lot of acid during the 60s, and I appreciate that.
It's very funny.
Yeah. That's oh my
That's a
God,
good
it's
line.
awesome. He rarely has like a sometimes he doesn't have a line at all,
Yeah.
or it's like a small one, but that is like let's put Stan in front of the camera for like 5 seconds and have him refer to the counterculture, specifically drug use in the counterculture. And I love it. It's so funny.
It's a really good one.
Yeah. Because of course this movie takes place in San Francisco, and that's where a lot of the counterculture centered around in the 1960s.
Top 5 Stanley cameos. It's
Oh
up
yeah.
there.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
up there. It's
what's,
really fun.
what's your favorite of
My
all time?
favorite? I like the Spider-Verse one a lot because just of when that hit, and it was very nice. I like the one in Captain Marvel a lot because it's, again, timely of everything.
Right.
Favorite Stanley cameo? That's something I feel like I'd have to think about because I'd have to look
yeah.
at them all.
I like the bus driver one a lot.
Yeah, that one's good.
It's very self-referential, or kind of like to his overarching character.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Is it fair to say Ragnarok?
Ragnarok's a good one.
It was kind of a two-way thing where he's like, by Odin's beard, you won't cut my hair. And then the guy turns on the razor and he's like, please don't cut my hair.
Yeah, that one's funny. Please don't. He said like, please don't cut my hair, nice old man, or something like that.
Yeah, Stanley has some really good ones.
Yeah.
But this is a highlight for
Oh,
sure.
I love it.
I guess. Do you have any issues with Ant-Man and the Wasp?
The only issue I have really is that the villain just doesn't really do it for me in terms of being like intimidating.
I liked her story, but
Yeah.
like, again, it didn't feel like while there was urgency, just because like there were so many things that the crew had to juggle all at once.
Right.
Which I liked because it was unique enough, and it was like we just got off of Thanos being the worst person in the planet and
Yeah.
the universe, you know.
Yeah.
So it was a nice change of pace. It was like it had similar ties to the heist structure that I liked in the first Ant-Man,
Yeah.
where there were pressures outside of someone who was like, "Oh, they could kill me."
Mm-hmm.
So I like that aspect, but I agree. I don't think there was a strong antagonist. Like
Right.
time was their biggest enemy in this.
A lot of people had. I remember a lot of people before this movie came out were saying, "Well, Thanos is," and like what you were saying, Thanos is the worst villain we've ever seen, and he tried to like destroy he wiped out half the population in the entire universe. What could any villain do to like compete with him? And that's fair. But with these types of movies, it's really a character story
Yeah.
of that particular hero versus their inner demons and like one small villain
Yeah.
that they're focusing on.
I
So
was-
I don't really have any issues with that.
I was thinking about this too last night when I was watching it. I think in the comics, at some point in time, I know Hank Pym was like abusive to Janet,
Oh,
and they touched on that a little bit, which I'm kind of glad that they.
in this movie?
Yeah, like, well, in this movie and the first Ant-Man, they're kind of be like, they address like, yeah, Hank is a jerk. Like, he's never been a good person ever.
Right.
And he never really denies it.
Yeah.
But with Scott, it's interesting because I was thinking about this. In the first Ant-Man, Scott is kind of a bad person because he made choices that he shouldn't have because of it screwed over his entire family. And he should have realized that. He came to terms with that and he tried to be better about it.
Right.
And then in Ant-Man and the Wasp, I was thinking about this because I was like, I mean, Scott, like, does he have any character flaws in this movie? I don't know if he necessarily does. Like, he wanted his 15 minutes of fame by going to help Cap.
Yeah.
And that kind of screwed up the lives of Hank and Hope.
Yeah.
Because they're on the road from the FBI now. So I was like, is this just Scott being like a narcissist right now? Is that his biggest issue in this movie? Or are we just like on board with the fact that like, yeah, Scott's a cool dude now. He's a superhero. And what's he up to now?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
And I think his biggest character flaw, and it's not even that big, is what you were saying. And it is him going off to hang with the Avengers and not telling.
Like just poor decision making.
Yeah. And not like letting Hope know.
Yeah, he's not considering everybody else that he could impact.
And I feel like it's not really as much of a flaw because he's freed and he turns himself back in.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I don't think that's necessarily a problem, but it's something I just wanted to bring up because it was a note that I had when I was watching it.
That's a good point.
Because I feel like for the most part, characters like Iron Man, Tony usually has a legitimate character flaw in each of his movies that he deals with and tries to overcome by the end. But like, it's never like after the Iron Man trilogy when Tony shows up again. It's not like, oh, he's a perfect human now.
Yeah.
So, and I love Paul Rudd, and I mean like
Oh, me too.
if we want to say perfect humans, Paul Rudd.
Oh,
I mean,
hell
like,
yeah.
come on. So I get that aspect. I want more Ant-Man movies. I hope they make more Ant-Man movies. I would love like 10 more of these things.
Yeah, Ant-Man is great. I'd like to see Ant-Man teamed up with people too.
Yeah, because I
think that's
feel like we
hilarious.
haven't gotten much of that.
We've only gotten it in Civil War.
Yeah, and we got
That's
it
it.
in this, which I
Yeah.
liked.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see it in about 3 weeks.
Oh, we sure will.
I hope it's for more than like 10 minutes.
Everyone,
hope so,
I remember
too.
when this movie came out, everyone was like, "Oh, Ant-Man's the key to like destroying Thanos." And now like
That theory has come back.
now there's some memes and very interesting with very interesting ideas for how he's going to defeat Thanos.
And
And I really like them.
many people who work on these films have addressed these.
They have.
They had to address them.
Josh Brolin took an Instagram video of him on a toilet clenching and screaming.
That's awesome.
I think also one of the Russos or the Russo brothers' Instagram account changed their profile picture to a rendered image of Thanos' butt cheeks
Nice.
for a period of time.
Appreciate that.
So
Ant-Man will climb up Thanos' butt.
you heard it here first, folks.
That's happening. Or
They'll
there'll
clean
be
it up. I feel like they'll clean it up and do like the mouth.
or like the ear.
Something.
That was. I
some-
feel like that was the original theory.
Okay.
the
It's like,
ear?
oh, why doesn't he just like climb? Because go for the head.
Yeah.
So why
Yeah,
doesn't he
sure.
just climb into his ear and then expand?
And then Twitter
And
got
then
a
people
hold
just
of it.
ran with it.
Yeah. In the most logical way
Yeah.
they could have.
Of course.
I do think there will be an attempt in like a clean version, of course, through like the ear or something.
that'd be
I
interesting.
wouldn't put it past him.
Maybe Red Stormbreaker
Oh,
if they go back in time.
That'd be
yeah.
cool.
Throw cap shield maybe. Hop off.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Before we get to rankings, I also wanted to give another shout out to a joke in this movie, which I really like.
Yeah.
Hope teasing Scott for being buddy with Captain America.
Oh yeah.
I love that so much.
Cap. Yeah, that's what we call him.
That's what. Yeah,
That's what his
so,
friends call him. I think we're friends now.
Yeah.
That's so good. And then like when he's like Tiny Scott,
Yeah.
and then she's like teasing him about it. It's like, oh, if Cap could see. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I love her in this. I love her relationship, and I love her delivery on like everything. So
Yeah. She's great.
honestly, I would be cool just seeing a Wasp movie too.
Me too.
Because I feel like she's a good enough character. Like she's trained more than Scott is. Like
Yeah.
Paul Rudd adds that, and I'm sure he'd probably be in a Wasp movie.
Right.
I don't know if we'd ever get a Wasp movie.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But I'd be all for it.
Yeah, I would too.
I feel like a great Wasp movie would be kind of a reversal of the roles where, Wasp is trying to save Ant-Man.
That'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
I would
I
be
would-
on board for that.
Now that we're in the age of de-aging, maybe it would be cool to see like Michael Douglas and Michelle Pfeiffer,
Ooh,
little
a
like,
prequel.
maybe
Interesting.
of them in the Cold War doing Ant-Man and Wasp stuff. That'd be pretty cool. Maybe a short series.
Oh, I see.
Disney
Lawrence
subscription series?
Yeah,
maybe
sounds
Lawrence
it.
Fishburne was Goliath. Maybe touch on that in a
Oh, cool.
miniseries or something.
That'd be very cool.
Yeah. So I like these characters. I like these movies, and I would like to see more of them, and I hope we get more of them.
Yeah, me too.
If we're in the realm of fantasy, I'd love to see Seth Rogen as like a receptionist at XCon.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
That'd be funny. It's time to rank.
Yep, let's do it.
Pat, would you like to go first?
Sure, I'd like to go first. Before I unmuted myself, I had to grab the list. I made changes.
Okay, let's hear 'em.
Fluid lists we got here.
I recently decided that Hulk is now my last, not Thor 2. So they switched spots. So we got Hulk at 18 or 19. Or is this 20?
That's 19.
It's 19. All right. I made this list and I kind of got notes over it, so the numbers
good.
are off. So Hulk, last place. Thor, 2. After that, Thor 1. Iron Man 2 at 16. Doctor Strange at 15. Iron Man at 14. Ant-Man at 13. Cap 1 at 12. Avengers at 11. Iron Man 3 at 10. Ant-Man and the Wasp at 9. I thought that was a fitting spot. Captain Marvel at 8. Black Panther at 7. Guardians at 6. Winter Soldier at 5. Age of Ultron at 4. Homecoming at 3. Guardians 2 at 2. And Civil War at 1.
Very nice. I'll run through my next. Number 19, I got Hulk. Not changing. Number 18, I have Thor the Dark World. Number 17, I have Iron Man 2. 16 is Captain America the First Avenger. 15 is The Avengers. 14 is Thor. 13 is Doctor Strange. 12 is Iron Man. 11 is Iron Man 3. 10 is Ant-Man. 9 is Captain Marvel. 8 is Ant-Man and the Wasp. 7 is Civil War. 6 is Avengers Age of Ultron. 5 is Guardians of the Galaxy. 4 is Black Panther. 3 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. 2 is Spider-Man Homecoming, and 1 is The Winter Soldier.
For me, I couldn't see that number. 19 is The Incredible Hulk. 18 is Thor the Dark World. 17 is Doctor Strange. 16 is Thor. 15 is Ant-Man. 14 is Iron Man 2. 13 is Iron Man. 12 is Captain America the First Avenger. 11 is Captain Marvel. 10 is Iron Man 3. 9 is Ant-Man and the Wasp. Pat, you and I share those two. 8 is The Avengers. 7 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. 6 is Age of Ultron. 5 is Black Panther. 4 is Guardians of the Galaxy. 3 is Spider-Man Homecoming. 2 is Captain America the Winter Soldier. And 1 is Civil War.
I think this is the first time, aside from like the God tier, as Jack referred them to, we've got it like 8 and 9.
Yeah.
Same exact spot.
Yep, pretty much, yeah. I liked this movie a lot. You asked earlier if I like it more than Ant-Man. Right now, it is 2 spaces above the first Ant-Man. I really don't know which one I prefer, though.
Yeah.
Because I think they both do different things very well. And, yeah, I just really like these characters.
Oh, I think this is one of the funniest Marvel movies, for sure.
For sure, yeah, definitely. So, that wraps up Ant-Man and the Wasp. Next week will be Thor Ragnarok. Week after that will be Avengers Infinity War, and then it is Avengers Endgame time.
We are really in the end game, huh?
It's so close. It is
so cool saying
insanely
that.
close. And if you want to see what we're doing to celebrate Endgame, you can follow us on Twitter at ExcelsiorJC. The show's Twitter. If you're watching this video right now, you're on JoyClicks, youtube.com/JoyClicks. Excelsior is also on podcast services, Spotify, iTunes. And yeah, that is where you should keep it locked if you want to see more Marvel coverage over the next few weeks and months. Jack, do you have a Twitter you want to plug?
I do. You could follow me on Twitter and Instagram at FascinatedJack. I have a video game podcast called The Polygonal Sunrise. You can find that on Twitter at PolygonalPod. You can find it on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, or you can find it on the Amherst Wire.
I am Patrick Maroney. I don't know why. Jesus, I'm bad at this. I'm on Twitter at ThePMoron, and I'm actually starting a new project that you'll be able to find on podcast services such as Apple Music and Spotify, or Apple Podcasts, where I get drunk with my friends and we play Dungeons and Dragons because we've never played it before. It's going to be called Drunkers and Dragons. Yeah, please follow that and support it. It should be fun.
Very nice. You can follow me on Twitter at Chris N. Buckley. And while we're talking about this, we did plug it earlier. Jack and I have a Pokemon show where Jack's playing a Pokemon game for the first time. It's funny.
It's a good time.
And yeah, that is it for the show. So, I'm looking forward to Endgame.
Yeah.
I cannot wait. It is crazy that we are this close.
Yeah.
It does not feel real.
We will see you in the end game.
Yeah.
That's our new
I
sign.
guess that's the sign off. We're in the end game now.
Watch your butt there, Thanos.
Until
Watch your
next
butt.
time.